Frank Ranks, week number 40. We got Marvel, we got DC, we got independent books, we got 10 of them. Let's talk about it right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I'm your host, Frank Zanca, an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, we have 10 books to talk about today, and I know that I have to make it really quick, so I only have like 2 minutes per book, and that's already going to be long. So let's jump right into them. I can't believe it's week 40 already, but let's jump right into them. The first one I read digitally, which is Exquisite Corpses. This is an image book. It is a bracket type of Hunger Games situation where the 13 original colonies all have like families that run those states, I guess. And each year they have a champion, and they lock down an area where people are just in there to get killed. The civilians don't even know that there's a whole bunch of assassins in there, and there can only be one, and the one winner for that particular family is the leader or the higher up for that year or whatever. It happens on Halloween. So hence we have all these 13 people. I think we're on issue 6. And I am so over this thing. The guy from the first issue, we never saw again. We haven't seen this guy in 6 months. And Mike Spiderslayer he's another YouTuber. He was like rooting for the Gamer Kid. And Gamer Kid went in this issue by a bunny. So, yeah, I'm so over it, though. I'm only reading it digitally. I'm not buying this. I don't like this whole situation where you don't have characters that appear from one issue to the next. You might not even see them for 6 months. You know, so I'm more interested in the civilians, to tell you the truth. Okay, that's why it is number 10. Number 9 is actually DC and is usually way higher up in the list. In fact, there's definitely an influx in this episode than ever before. Most of the stuff that I usually have higher up is more down the bottom. So I don't know what happened this week or this month with these. But number 9 is A Superman by Joshua Williamson. And I knew it. As soon as we got into this DCKO crap, everything was just going to die. And that's exactly what happened. Everything with DC is just going to be shit. And that's how I feel about this. We had Titans on the last one, where we have 7 members of the Titans trying to evacuate the whole entire Earth. And this follows up with that. It is the stupidest idea. I thought Absolute Power had a stupid idea. This is even more stupid. Let's evacuate 8 billion people in several days. That's asinine. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And he goes to see Jor-El in the Fortress of Solitude, of course, the animatronic of him, or whatever you want to call it. And he says, yeah, let's save everybody. Because if I had that idea on Krypton where people could leave, we would have saved everyone. That's all I need to know, Superman says. And he goes off and he talks to Mercy, who I guess he forgot betrayed him in the last couple of issues. But no, it's fine. Talks to her and she says, by the way, I just happen to have a big ship that'll carry 1 billion people. And he's like, great, I need 12 of them. You need 12 of them? When do you need them? Tomorrow. Okay, no problem. The people would be stuck in traffic for a week just to get to a certain point. Especially 12 of them. You only have 12 rendezvous points. And where are they all going? It is stupid. This is stupid. And then by the end, we got Superboy Prime show up, and I guess the Sun Kid or whatever else from the Legion ignites Lois's powers again. I was over Superwoman already. We don't need her back. All I need is Zod to come and take his powers back, and that's all I need. and they got her back again. Over it. Over it. So that's why it's number 9. If it wasn't for Exquisite Corpses being pretty bad, I would make it even lower. Okay, another DC book following in the footsteps of DCKO, and that is Green Lantern by my buddy Jeremy Adams. From the cover, I really thought that we were going to get Hal and Star Sapphire in here, Carol. And we don't. We get one page of them together. That's it. The rest of it is all about Guy Gardner and JoJo, whatever, finding this 1,000-page-old book, and somehow it's still intact, from Oa. It's under a bunch of rubble. It's not ripped. It's not destroyed. And then they turn the page, and Hal Jordan's name is on it. And they go confront him about it, and he has some kind of an allergic reaction to it or whatever. And then we see him and Carol, and then he gets an emergency call. She gets an emergency call for Justice League, and he takes over and does it. I don't know why she didn't get pissed off at that when they called her, and he went and did it anyway. But I would have rather just seen them together because Jeremy writes that couple really well together. But this was just a tease. This was a cock tease from hell. Okay, moving on to... I'm going pretty fast. I'm going on to number 7. And again, this is normally like number 1 and number 2 for me. This is by Marvel. One of the few Marvel books I actually collect. And that is Moon Knight by Jed MacKay. The only book that Jed MacKay can write without stumbling upon himself with... he can't write team books. There's a couple of things I did like in here. So this is the continuation of the Wrecker storyline where he is being haunted by all the people I guess he's killed because of the new super crowbar he's got. I did like, Scarlet Scarab. I like that character in general because that's the one thing I liked about the TV show because there really wasn't much I liked. And Tiger's in there. And she goes, that's like the only page I liked in the whole thing. And Clea, they go to see Clea to help them deal with this supernatural thing. And that's about the extent of it. This is not a strong issue. Not as strong as it normally is, that's for sure. Okay, number 6. Getting in the top 5 here shortly. Okay, number 6. We have a independent by Image, and this is by Greg Rucka, who I like. I like Greg Rucka as a writer. And this is Lazarus Fallen. I still, after 6 issues, have no idea why Rucka brought this back. This was over years ago. They finished it. And Forever, who is the Lazarus here, Lazarus is a champion for a specific family. Again, we have the type of dystopian future where certain families own the whole world, and then they have serfs. So it goes back to like the caste system. And we're dealing with the Carlisle family, the Bittner family, or whatever. So anyway, she escapes, but they have clones of her, right? So when one Lazarus dies, even though they can heal, but if they get their head cut off, they're dead. So it's kind of like, Highlander situation. But anyway, her and her clone, who was obviously younger than her, they escape. And it's been 3 years that they've escaped. This story's over, man. But they're still being hunted, and they're being hunted by the Sonia from the Bittner family who wears armor, and they're trying to make a new life while they're being on the run, and they're making friends with these revolutionaries. And then you have Michael, who is in, and Joanna, who are back in the Carlisle family, and Michael is the scientist, and he gives this special formula to his girlfriend, who is the head of security, who is now becoming a commander. And I guess she's becoming a Lazarus. I don't know what the deal is there, but it doesn't really end with any kind of cliffhanger, nothing. This is more like a bridge issue, but he's saying that we're going to end the arc at at 6. He should just end the whole thing at 6. The only reason I see this bringing him back is if he made some kind of a deal with Netflix or whatever else, and they wanted more of a story. That's the only reason I can see this even getting picked back up again. And because they can't be selling anything, because nobody's even reviewing it. It's crazy. Artwork's really good on it, but I don't know. I guess obviously Sonya and Forever are going to fight in the next issue, but he should just end it, man. Okay, before we go on to the last the top 5 of the list. Number 2, that you can give me a like, give me a subscribe if you can. If you can, ring that bell, ding, ding. Share this video out there so people know what Marvel and DC and all the independents are putting out. Plus, remember, too, that I'm a writer myself, so if you'd like to check out anything that I've written, you can go to Amazon.com and just type my name in, or there's a link in the description below. You'll see my 4-novel quadrilogy sci-fi extravaganza epic called Destiny Aurora. So if you like Star Wars, Star Trek, Guardians of the Galaxy, it's got a little bit of all that elements in there. I think you'll love it. It was made into a board game, an RPG, a graphic novel, the whole bit. It's also on Audible with multiple voices. You could love that too. It's they did a really good job, the VO artists. Also, I wrote a fantasy novel called Tales of Ravenor the Iron Witch. So if you like Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, Lord of the Rings, it's got magic, it's got griffins, it's got dragons, you got dragon riders. We have wars against witches. What else do we need? It's real fun. And then my new comic, Fairy Tales of Terror, is fully funded on Kickstarter, so I'm opening up a late pledge right now. We have Psycho Cinderella and murderous Captain Hook running around New York City chopping people up, and Tiger Lily from Neverland is chasing them down. It's lots of fun. The artwork is great. I'm going to be retiring certain covers, so definitely check that out. Go to fairytalesofterror.com, or there's a link in the description below, and get yours now. Plus, if you're interested in filmmaking, I am doing a master class November 1st and 2nd this weekend in the afternoon via Zoom, and I will be teaching everything from writing to the structure of writing, all that stuff, as well as budgeting, scheduling, crowdfunding, distribution, across the board. So if you're looking to do a short, if you're looking to do a feature, getting stuff ready for your investors, all that stuff, I'm going to be teaching it all. I'm an 18-year veteran in the industry, and I'll be talking about all that. Then you go to Eventbrite. There's also a link in the description below for that Eventbrite. It's very, very inexpensive. All right, let's jump back into the final 5. And we have another Image book. This is from the Universal Monster series, and that is The Invisible Man. I think there's only one more issue left of this. He kidnaps a kid who's like homeless or whatever, and gives him the formula, and he doesn't give enough of it, so he's like slowly disappearing. The kid's like, "What the hell are you doing to me? You know, I can never live again." And he offered him like a very small amount of money. The kid had no idea what he was getting into, but now the kid is completely invisible, and he basically bonks him on the head kind of thing, and now escapes. He had him like chained to the bed. So what an existence. I mean, this guy's pure evil, this scientist. And now the kid's escaped, and now he is the Invisible Man. So I don't know, or Visible Kid, I guess. So I don't know where this is going to end, but it's like a prequel to the act, because he hasn't given the formula to himself yet, so it's a prequel. But it's pretty decent, I got to say. Okay, so number 4, and that is Absolute Wonder Woman. Again, this is normally higher. I'm not really feeling this issue. We got a new artist here who's not any better than Sherman. And I do like the way he does hair better, but that's about the extent of it. Why can't we get a good artist on this thing? I have no idea. Why can't Mora do it or something? I don't know. But anyway, I'm dealing with very average artistry on Thompson's book, and Thompson is normally very average, but she's really latched on to this character. I'd like to see her write the regular series. Let's get Tom King off that, and let's see her write the regular series, because I think she gets the character. But in here, we had a really great setup in the last issue about the fact that the Themyscirans now know that she's alive and all this stuff. And we had the Minotaur, all that stuff, and it just on the wayside. She just said, "Oh, we'll deal with that later." And they also set up like an evil Zatanna. Again, nothing. This is her fighting this lightning monster or whatever else that turns people, angry or whatever. Whenever it's around, it has a negative influence on people. And we find out it's her negative energy because of magic. I don't really like this storyline, but hopefully it'll end next issue and she'll move on. But the good thing is it's not connected to DCKO. So I'm hoping that the next thing will go back to all the stuff that she set up that was really good. Okay, going on to number 3. This is an independent also. It is called Escape. It is by Rick Remender. He's writing a story about his grandfather in World War II, except he told it all as animals. Because somebody told him that animals create empathy with humans. Like, if you're telling a story about an animal, you have more empathy than you would of another human. I disagree completely. I can give a shit about animals playing humans. I don't like, animated animals trying to be humanoid. It doesn't work for me. And that's why everybody thought this was the greatest thing ever. And I'm giving it a 3 because of the fact that the story has actually upped. It's because it's gotten way more action-based. And now he's stuck in the basement with some other people that are hiding out. He's being chased. He's on, enemy lines. He's trying to complete a suicide mission, knowing that he's never going to make it home. All that stuff. I like all that, but I'm looking at a dog. I'm looking at a dog, firing a gun. I don't know why he just didn't make it humans. I do not understand his logic. It doesn't work for me. If it did, this would be higher up because I love World War II stuff, but the dog thing just killing me. Okay, and number 2. Now we're getting up to this. People will be surprised at this one because this one's always number 1 on my thing. I love this book, and this is by David Pepose, but it is number 2 this month because I do have something above it. And Pepose does a really good job. Again, he never disappoints with this character. Like Thompson gets the Wonder Woman character, he really gets this. He has latched onto this, and when you know a character as well as he knows these characters, you're going to come out with some really good stuff. So we have 2 feuding warlords that finally say, you know what, we're done fighting. We're going to have a treaty pact after, decades and decades, if not more, of fighting. I don't know how long, space sharks and shard people can live, but obviously a long time. But as they're about to sign everything, a assassin sends a blast over. Jace sees him at the last second. Space goes in there and blocks the blast and shields them, but they each blame each other. So now they start fighting right off the bat. Jace gets picked off as the assassin because he's there now with the gun, but the assassin has now left. So he gets detained in prison at this point. And there now is a full-scale war going on in space. There's fighters all over the place. And Space Ghost is now hit or whatever else. I forgot what happened with him at the very end. And Jace is still, might hit execution level. Detainment. Anyway, a really good issue. I'm waiting to see who the actual assassin was because basically it's turned into a whodunit. All right, number 1. Should we do the rub up? Number 1. Marvel. Believe it or not, I hit a Marvel as number 1. When does that happen? And this is definitely one for the books. Star Wars Jedi Knight by Guggenheim. This is way thinking out of the box, and that's what I liked about it. So he told this from the point of view where all of the panels are point of view of a child. So basically, if she looks at herself, she's looking at her feet, right? So it's literally from her eyes. And it's about her getting recruited to be a Jedi youngling. and where she has to say goodbye to her parents, and her parents have to let her go. And I can just imagine what that would be like, but we get to see some of that. We barely ever see that. We saw it with Anakin, but, I was not a fan of the prequels at all. And now we also, they immediately, they're new Jedi that basically recruit her, and they're the only ones in the sector, so they end up getting a distress call, which they are stupidly walk right into a trap, and they tell her to stay in the ship, and she doesn't, and as they turn to try to block, the blasts that are going at her, they get killed. So, wow, really good stuff, but apparently she gets away because we get to see her a little older, and she's with Yoda, and I really want to see this character again and see what happened in between all that. But really good stuff. Really good, especially for Star Wars and Marvel. Wow. Definitely thinking out the box here. All right, so that's it for me. We did it. We did it in 20 minutes. Woo, 10 of them. All right, remember to give me that like. Give me that thumbs up if you can. If you can, subscribe, please do. Ring that bell, ding, ding. Check out my stuff on Amazon. Definitely jump into late pledge of Fairy Tales of Terror. Go to fairytalesofterror.com or the link in the description below. And if you'd like to join me this weekend, November 1st and 2nd, for my masterclass for filmmaking, Eventbrite, link description below. It's going to be lots of fun. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Have an awesome week. All right. Bye-bye.